How did artists get famous before the internet? Did they promote their art by writing letters, mailing photographs of their art to galleries, becoming infamous through graffiti? Yes, to all of the above. Andy Warhol came from a working-class immigrant family, but studied illustration in college. He moved to New York City and then worked like a dog, illustrating for magazines for years before even considering having an art show. Van Gogh sent thousands of letters in his lifetime to family members and artist friends. Despite never reaching commercial success in his lifetime, he avidly updated his network with letters, sketches, and descriptions of what he was working on. Salvador Dali was an attention-seeking crazy person before anyone ever knew him for his art. He was always well-dressed, hypersocial, and constantly at art shows with other artists. While Dali was a master painter, and he became very well known for that very early on, he could also be considered a highly successful social climber. Claude Monet attended art school in Paris and actively submitted his paintings to the Paris Salon, a highly accredited art show of the time. Despite his acceptance, critics and attendees hated his work, so he eventually broke off into his own project and started his own series of art shows, which featured some of the most famous Impressionist painters ever before they were known. They were just his buddies. Monet essentially was doing DIY organizing because he didn't fit into the popular sensibility. Artists like Basquiat, Keith Haring, Shepard Fairey, Banksy, and so many more promoted themselves through graffiti before they became famous for branded imagery, street art, and that whole rise of that movement in the early 2000s and so on. I've listed these 5 examples to hopefully de-influence you a little bit in terms of getting yourself out there as an artist. The internet is great for content, entertainment, and more, but getting your art out there has so much more to do with the real world than it does with just the internet. Don't freak out too much about social media. Get out there in the real world and meet people. Of course, the 1800s and the 1900s and the mid-century and even the early 2000s are radically different than us here in the mid-2020s, but the point still stands that getting yourself out there in the real world, meeting people, doing fun stuff, organizing your own shows, maybe even getting your artwork out there in guerrilla ways without, burning your life down, getting arrested like a dumbass. There are just so many cool ways you can get yourself out there that have nothing to do with the internet. And honestly, I think that the world, generally, people right now are hungry for offline things. People want in-person things. People want tactile, real media. People want just something real they can touch with their hands. With all of this techno hell landscape we live in right now, people just want to feel something in person, in reality, in 3D space with people. So yeah, take it from someone like me who's my day-to-day life is dominated by internet content and digital media. Take it from me when I say that this is not everything and the real world matters so much more. That's all I'm saying. Hope you guys are well. Happy painting. Love you guys. Bye. All right, sorry. Bye.